this is a recorded video of your accounting methods module. Okay. So, punta muna tayo sa ano ba matututunan natin for this module. So, matututunan natin dito what are the different accounting periods used in taxation, what are the different accounting methods used in taxation. At the same time, ano yung mga requirements para sa book of accounts na minimaintain ng isang business rather. Okay, for accounting period, so this is not new to you. Meron tayong dalawang klase ng accounting period na ginagamit sa taxation, calendar year and fiscal year. So sa calendar year, it is anything or any accounting period that ends in the last day of December. Okay? So ang focus ninyo dito is kung ano yung last day. Pag ang last day is December, that is calendar year. Okay, hindi po pwedeng sabihin na it should start on January 1 and ends in December because there are businesses na hindi naman nag-ooperate ng January 1 or mag-i-start pa lang sila ng business at the middle of the year. Okay, but their accounting period is usually ending in December 31. That is considered as calendar year. Pag fiscal year, ibig sabihin it is a 12-month period wherein the ending period will be any other month of the calendar which is not December. So again, pag not December yung end ng accounting period, ang tawag po doon fiscal year. So kailan naman automatically na ang ginagamit ay calendar year. So kapag yung taxpayer does not keep its books of accounts, ibig sabihin maliit lang yung business. If the taxpayer has no accounting period, if a taxpayer is an individual, if a taxpayer's annual accounting period is other than a fiscal year, automatically calendar year yung gagamitin. Okay. And accounting period may be less than 12 months. So, kapag newly organized yung isang organization or isang business, okay, kasi hindi mo naman mapipilit yun na mag-operate ng January 1 agad. When the corporation is dissolved, kasi pag dissolve na yung corporation, wind up na yung affairs, wala nang transactions yan. Hindi mo aantayin mo pa ba na mag-end yun ng December 31? Hindi na. Okay, close mo na yan agad. If a taxpayer dies, and then, when a corporation changes its accounting period. So, yung number 4, related yan sa box sa baba, which is, kailan ba nagkakaroon ng change in accounting period? So, nagkakaroon ng change in accounting period kapag previously galing siya ng calendar year and lilipat siya sa fiscal year. Ano yung mga reasons kung bakit ito nangyayari? Probably is hindi sa kanya effective na gamitin yung calendar year or sometimes kasi may mga businesses na yung operating cycle nila is really different from your calendar year kaya mas better sa kanila yung fiscal year. So kapag magkakaroon ng switch, kailangan po natin ang tinatawag na final or adjustment return. Okay? Pangalawa, from one fiscal year to another fiscal year, mag-change ka ng start date at end date. Okay? So, kailangan mo rin ng final or adjustment return. So, sa accounting methods naman, so this is not new to you. Na-discuss na rin natin to sa accounting. Okay? So, what are the essential considerations for an accounting method to be acceptable? We have three essential acceptable accounting methods. Number 1, there should be a distinction between your revenue and your capital expenditures. 2, expenses to restore property should be considered as under property account or should be capitalizable and subjected to depreciation. Number 3, in all cases where the production, purchase, or sale of merchandise is an income factor, inventory should be considered beginning at the end of the period. Okay. Next, let's proceed naman sa kinds of methods of accounting. So we have 4 from what we have learned in accounting. Meron lang tayong dalawa, cash and accrual basis accounting, di ba? Pero dito sa taxation purposes, meron tayong additional 2. Okay? Actually, meron itong dalawang to is also discussed in your higher accounting or specialized transactions. Okay? Pag cash method, ibig sabihin yung disbursement at saka receipts ng pera ang nagiging basis ng recording natin ng expenses at revenue. Kung kailan magkakaroon ng cash outflow, doon ka magre-record ng expenses. Kung kailan magkakaroon ng cash inflow, doon ka magre-record ng revenue. For accrual purposes, usually yung cash method natin, ginagamit po yan ng maliliit na businesses, mga sari-sari store. Okay. Pangalawa, accrual method. accrual method, ginagamit po ito ng big corporations or big businesses kasi it follows yung financial accounting concepts natin or yung generally accepted accounting principles. Sa accrual method, income is earned, income is recognized when earned, and expenses is recognized when incurred. Okay? It doesn't matter kung kailan mo binayaran yung expense at kailan mo na-collecta yung revenue mo. Okay? Sa cash method yun, importante yung cash disbursements at saka cash receipts. Sa accrual method, hindi importante ang cash receipts at disbursement. Okay? Pag crop basis naman, ginagamit po ito ng mga farmers wherein yung kanilang pag-ani ng kanilang crops takes more than tumatalo ng taon. Okay, so ginagamit natin yung crop basis. Pangalawa, yung percentage of completion method is applicable for construction companies wherein usually ang creation ng mga buildings or ng mga construction is more than 1 year. So hindi naman pwedeng may ginawa ka na pero wala ka pang nare-recognize na revenue, magre-recognize ka lang at the end of the project, hindi ganun. Sa percentage of completion, ang ginagawa po dito is merong unti-unti kang nare-recognize na part ng revenue kapag may nagagawa ka na. Kung ano na yung percentage na nakukomplete mo doon sa project, yun din yung i-recognize mong percentage ng revenue. Okay? Punta naman tayo sa compliance requirements. So, sa compliance requirements, dati, if you are not exceeding 50,000 as to sales and earnings, hindi ka required na maggumamit ng bookkeeping records. Okay? Pero ngayon, regardless of the amount, kailangan mo na pong gumamit ng accounting records. So, kapag magpo-put up kayo ng business, kailangan nyo pong bumili sa National Bookstore ng Sales Journal, General Ledger, General Journal, Cash Disbursements Journal, marami po, mga booklet po yun na kailangan mong patatakan kay BIR. Okay? And also, it should be audited and examined by an independent certified public accountant if your gross quarterly sales and receipts exceed the threshold now is 3 million pesos. Kasi yung 150,000, maliit na business na lang po yan. Okay? So, tinaasan nila yung threshold para hindi naman burdensome para sa mga maliliit na businesses na mag-avail pa sila ng auditor para mag-examine ng kanilang books. Okay? Next, issuance of receipts and invoices. Under the TRAIN law, required ka pong mag-issue ng receipts or invoices if the transaction is now 100 pesos, dati 25 pesos. And paggamit po ng mga invoices natin is 5 years from the effectivity ng law natin. Okay? Naka-reflect din sa resibo ninyo yung authority to print na binibigay ng BIR upon registration. And then, the taxpayers are required to keep digital records of invoices or receipts within 3 years. Okay? Next, sa retention period naman. So, ang retention period, ang kinikip po dito is yung mga books of accounts at saka accounting records. So, ngayon, ang requirement po ng ating Bureau of Internal Revenue is 5 years. Dati 5 years, is now 10 years rather. Dati 5 years lang po yan. Kaya, sa mga malalaking businesses, required na ang isang floor is for archive lang ng mga accounting records kasi sobrang dami po ng transactions. Yung financial statements, it's just a matter of isang kapal lang ng libro yon. Pero kasi yung mga supporting documents such as yung invoices, yung mga resibo, yung mga billing statements na pinagsisend sa customers, yun pong mga yun ay importante din kasi they are the supporting documents din sa financial statements. Kailangan din po yun i-keep in the principal place of business. Ay 10 taon yung kailangan mong i-maintain, di ba? So, imagine niyo sobrang daming papel yun, kahon-kahon. So, imagine niyo para kayong nasa library. Okay? So, registration requirements naman. Okay. If you are a new employee, fresh grad ka, tapos magka-apply ka ng trabaho, wala ka pang tax identification number, usually HR po ang magpa-process nito within 10 days from the date of employment. Okay? Kapag kayo naman ay bagong business, para makapag-register kayo sa BIR, kailangan nyo po ng DTI certificate, kailangan nyo ng mayor's permit at saka lease agreement kung kayo ay mangungupahan ng isang pwesto. Okay? Ano mangyayari? kapag nagpa-register kayo sa BIR, magkakaroon kayo ng tinatawag na Certificate of Registration. Andun naka-reflect yung TIN ninyo, ano yung pangalan ng negosyo ninyo, saan kayo, asan yung principal place ng business ninyo, ano yung mga tax na dapat ninyong bayaran. Okay? And then, kailangan nyo din magbayad ng registration fee na if I'm not mistaken, it's around 500 or 1,000 pesos. And then, 3,000 pesos para sa mga resibo na si BIR kasi po ang nag-aasikaso ng printing ng mga resibo na ini-issue ng businesses. Hindi po yan maghahanap ka ng printing press tapos ikaw na yung magpapaprint doon o kaya computer shop na bahala na sila mag-layout ng resibo mo or bibili ka sa National Bookstore ng official receipt na hindi naman official. Okay? Hindi pwedeng ganon. Kay BIR po yun pinapagawa. Okay? And then, pag ang registration po ng business kay BIR is before, on or before commencement date ng business. Very important to guys. Kasi kapag kayo ay nahuli ng BIR na meron na kayong running business tapos hindi pa kayo registered, late registration ang tawag doon, magpe-penalty po kayo ng 10,000 pesos. Sayang din yun. Nag-start ka pa lang sa negosyo, meron ka ng penalty. Okay? So, yun. So, important po yun na maging, lalo na sa inyo, you are in the business at nasa accounting pa kayo, kapag merong lumapit sa inyo ng requirements kung paano magpa-register ng negosyo, advise nyo sila na before kayo mag-start, kailangan registered muna kayo kay BIR. Otherwise, may chance na ma-audit kayo or masita at pagbayaran kayo ng 10,000 pesos. Okay? So that's it for your accounting methods. That's the end of your topic for pre-final.